Hi, and welcome to Missouri Outdoors. I'm Kip Woods, and today we're in east central Missouri at an area where you'll find honeycomb-shaped rocks, scorpions, and a view like no other in Missouri. We're at Hughes Mountain Natural Area located southeast of Potosi, and it's our stop as we continue our tour of conservation lands all across the state. During the next half hour, we'll not only take you on a tour of this area, but we'll also travel throughout Missouri and bring you these stories. We'll spend an afternoon with some faithful anglers. The fish they're trying to catch don't get very big, but they're one of the strongest fighters. Then we'll travel to St. Louis and meet a teacher with a green thumb and her students who are really down to earth. But first, we'll see why this man is trying to catch the world's largest freshwater turtle. Stay tuned as we tag along with the Alligator Snapper Trapper next on Missouri Outdoors.
They get large. Commonly, they're 40 or 50 pounds. Uncommonly, they're over 100, and very unusually, they're over 200. A few have been reported over 200 pounds. Nothing right now is really known of the animal. Not too many people have taken an interest in pursuing it as a study topic. A lot of people are fascinated by it, but not to the extent that I am. There's very few people in the science community that study alligator snap turtles, mainly because they're so hard to come by. It takes a lot of effort to go out and catch a turtle. It's empty. Lots and lots of folks call me Turtle Man. I came across turtles when I was young and kept them in captivity and observed them and just liked them a whole lot. And I saw pictures of alligator snapper turtles in field guides and just thought they were incredible. And then I got the determination and drive and went out trying to look for them and trying to capture them.
Steve Sandtuff is a rare individual, much like the animals he's studying. He's helping the state of Missouri find out more about alligator snapping turtles, how many there are in the state, and where they're located.
It's quite clear why they've declined in numbers. The animal cannot handle commercial harvest. In the 60s and 70s, they were trapped out for a major soup company. 14 crews caught 1,000 pounds a day, 5 days a week, 9 months a year, 7 years for the soup company, starting in Texas, working east to Georgia. And that really wiped them out in a lot of their range.
The alligator snapping turtle in many states is considered rare or threatened because of the fact that they're over-harvested, they are slow to reproduce, and habitat destruction. Because of that, in the state of Missouri, it's listed as rare, and we need to find out more about their conditions in Missouri.
Much of the turtle's habitat in southeast Missouri has been destroyed due to flood control and agriculture practices. Locating these unique animals is doubly tough because they're so secretive.
A fisherman could probably sit on a bank every summer afternoon for a year or 2 summers in a row and probably never see one of these come out of the water or even surface to breathe. Females lay eggs on land. Other than that, they're really rarely ever found.
To capture alligator snapping turtles, Steve sets out special nets baited with fish in the evening. He returns the following morning to check his finds.
All right.
Any alligator snappers caught are measured, weighed, and tagged, then released.
This turtle's probably about 3, maybe 4 years old.
Luckily, some of the turtles that were captured here have been quite young, which is kind of a good sign, and we're encouraged by that.
After I take all the measurements, I'll weigh it. This turtle weighs 6 pounds.
There are very few people that want to handle or put out traps and do the extra effort involved with trapping for this animal. We are very fortunate to have Steve because they are extremely rare. They're rarer than a turtle.
Each turtle that's been captured receives not only a mark on the shell for identification, but also a tag. The mark serves a purpose of identifying the turtle if the tag's ever lost, which is possible. The best way to tag them is to drill a hole through the shell. It doesn't hurt the turtle. As a matter of fact, in a year it'll grow back. But to keep it from growing back and being unrecognized, put a piece of twine through it. I've recaptured turtles much more than a year after I've drilled this. It doesn't harm them. Kind of acts like an earring in a pair of steer. So then we'll release the animal. The bigger turtles are a real challenge. You can't pull in a big turtle from the edge of a john boat, really, because the john boat's going to start tipping and filling full of water. You almost have to get onto the bank and work with the turtle from the bank. A big turtle is hard to handle. There's no reason to be afraid of one. The only harm that one could ever do to you is if you're actually messing with it, trying to handle it. That's the only way they'll attempt to bite at you. If you're just swimming or fishing, their best interest is to get out of your way.
Much is yet to be learned about the world's largest freshwater turtle. But thanks to the efforts of the Turtle Man, some questions are being answered. It's valuable information that could help save the livelihood of alligator snapping turtles in Missouri.
Welcome back to Hughes Mountain Natural Area located southeast of Potosi. You can see a four-county area from the top of Hughes Mountain. This is not one of the highest mountains in the region, but because there are no obstructions, you get one of the best views. From the geological standpoint, Hughes Mountain offers the interesting and the seldom seen. It's one of the oldest exposed rock areas in the country. One feature that makes Hughes Mountain so unique is the angular jointing of the rocks, producing a honeycomb pattern, thus the area's nickname, Devil's Honeycomb. Hughes Mountain is located about 10 miles southeast of Potosi in Washington County. As a natural area, it has been preserved as a relatively undisturbed piece of Missouri. Coming up next, we'll see how a St. Louis teacher is using a green thumb as a teaching tool. It's a learning process that goes inch by inch. It's next on Missouri Outdoors.
Children are our most important resource and asset as far as I'm concerned.
In much of St. Louis's north side, vacant lots and derelict buildings share the streets with family homes, businesses, and schools. It's a difficult environment in which to nurture young minds. Here at Pierre Laclede School, educators look for different ways to reach their young students.
The children are our future, and so it's necessary to give them all of our attention and all of our love and to teach them as much as we can about being responsible, productive citizens as they grow into adulthood.
Not an easy task. One concern was the vacant lots, local eyesores that invited trash and trouble. In 1983, during a neighborhood meeting, an answer was found for one lot that would aid both neighborhood and school.
We decided that it would be nice to give the children something to do in the neighborhood, and so we thought a garden would be an ideal thing. In investigating the ownership of the lot, we discovered that it belonged to the city, and they had a program going called Adopt a Lot. And you could adopt a lot for $1 if you maintained it.
And so the Pierre Laclede Outdoor Classroom was born. Help poured in from many individuals and groups. On a vacant lot of clay and debris, life has sprung forth from the fertile ground and from the minds of the children.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make things start and grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, sometimes these seeds are sown. Some will wander from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Who's going to tell me how many centimeters I have here? This is 10, 11. How many do we have? 12. Okay, so let's add that. Math was one of the first lessons that we had for obvious reasons. You can measure everything in the garden. Okay, now we have the length and we have the width. What are we going to do with those numbers? It reinforces some of the skills that the children have on the SAT. Some things that they have to know. This gives them an opportunity to put that into action. It's called application. And that helps them to remember just a little longer.
Teaching math and science fits easily into the garden program, but educators here have incorporated every aspect of their curriculum in lessons that revolve around the garden.
Plants, that's going to be your title. And then you're going to write a nice composition about what we did this morning. What did you learn about plants?
The garden has served as inspiration for English, history, music, even poetry.
My own garden. My own garden is just for me. My own garden you'll like to see. My own garden will make you twirl. My own garden is my private world.
The new world that is open to these children is the wonder of nature, and it belongs to them.
It's exciting for them because they put the seeds or the seedlings into the ground, and they provide the water and take care of it. The seniors are able to work with the younger people, and that's important now because they need that opportunity for interaction.
We consider ourselves a close family, but the garden has helped to bring us closer to the community at large. The community, the staff, the parents have a high regard for this school and what we are doing. There is a pride that says to everyone, this garden belongs to us. And I think that's how the neighborhood sees the garden, as a special place where all of the children are learning.
Our long-range hope is that those youngsters will be doing more in the way of gardening and ecology and conservation.
Composting is something new that we've added to the garden. It's a term that they should be familiar with because it aids in the recycling. What with the shortage of landfills and places to dispose of waste, this is just another skill that the children can use in daily life.
International visitors and national recognition have honored the outdoor classroom. But make no mistake, it's what the garden gives the children and what the children give the garden that make it special, a lesson of life.
I think working with the earth gives you a basis for a good life. It teaches you to respect everything that's around you, the growing things, and your neighbors. I think if you respect yourself first and then you respect those around you, it makes you a better person. And so I'm offering this little plot as my contribution to the children to teach them that the best things in life are indeed free. You have to work for it, but it doesn't cost you anything, like a smile doesn't cost you anything.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make things solid grow. Solid takes in the rake in a hole and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sowed. Someone warned them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
I can see the smiles on the children's faces now.
Welcome back to Hughes Mountain Natural Area near Potosi. Hughes Mountain has been designated as a natural area to preserve an example of natural Missouri. It's changed very little from the time the state was first settled. For many, it will take about 10 minutes to hike to the top of the mountain. You'll not only have the opportunity to see deer, fox, and squirrel, but you can also see animals that are adapted to the rocky, desert-like conditions that Hughes Mountain offers, from lichen grasshoppers to scorpions. Years ago, fox hunters would gather here to swap tall tales and listen to the hounds run. No matter what the reason, visitors quickly understand why this is truly one of Missouri's most unique natural areas. When Missouri Outdoors continues, we'll head to our favorite fishing hole and try to get our hooks into one of the feistiest fish in the state. Join us as we go in search of big bluegill next on Missouri Outdoors.
like to do a lot of kinds of fishing, but I always seem to get a kick out of bluegill fishing just about as well as any kind. Okay, feller, go back in there and enjoy yourself.
Jerry Case has always been an avid fisherman, but his love for the sport really peaks each time he grabs his fly rod and goes in search of bluegill. Big bluegill.
Well, I think I'm going to try a different fly pattern. This one's not gonna work. Maybe later. No, sometimes you have to kind of experiment a little with colors and sizes and shapes. It doesn't seem to be a yellow day. See if I have something in here that they might be interested in today.
Bluegill don't get very big. The Missouri state record is about 3 pounds, but for their relatively small size, they can produce a lot of excitement.
They really fight, I tell you. For their size, they're just amazing. If a bluegill got up to 10 pounds, I'm not sure you'd hardly be able to land one on a conventional tackle. You can catch them year-round, and they're readily available, and you don't have to book flights to Alaska or whatever to catch bluegill. They're usually within a couple of miles of just about anybody in the state. There's no other fish that really fights quite like they do. They turn in those little tight circles, and they really make use of that slab-sided body of theirs. You missed one. I'm messing up your concentration.
Mike Cruz also enjoys fishing for bluegill. He has a vested interest in what he catches. As a fisheries research biologist, it's his job to find out the best ways to raise big bluegill.
I think most people have never experienced truly quality bluegill fishing. It's just so rare and so limited that most people don't have an appreciation for the potential of bluegill. The difference between a 6 or 7 inch bluegill and a 9 or 10 inch bluegill is tremendous in terms of the sporting qualities of the fish.
While bluegill have been studied for a number of years, much has been indirectly learned through the study of largemouth bass.
To produce big bluegill like that, you need lots of bass like this. The idea is, with all these bass, most of these little bluegill are eaten, but the few that survive have enough food to grow to sizes like this that are really quality fish for people to catch.
Another factor in raising big bluegill is water fertility.
Just like there's differences in the fertility of soil for growing a crop, there are also differences in water fertility for growing a fish crop. And big bluegill seem to be found in some of the more fertile ponds and lakes that we have. That's about an 8-inch bluegill there, which in this impoundment's about 4 years old, which is very, very fast growing. In a lot of other, more typically, it takes about 6 or 7 years to grow a fish this size. So this is a very unique body of water. It's able to grow fish much faster than most.
The easiest time to catch bluegill is during peak spawning periods. In most areas of Missouri, that occurs during the months of May and June.
If you can find a location where the fish are really concentrated spawning, it can just be non-stop action, and kids can really get turned on to fishing by fishing for bluegill.
The first fish I ever caught in my life was on a fly rod. I caught it with my dad up in a lake near Kirksville. I think I was 4 years old. I caught about a 4 or 5 inch long bluegill and was so excited about it I ended up taking it home in a Dixie cup and putting it in a fish bowl for quite a few days before we finally turned it loose in a little creek around the back of our house.
And I know there's a relatively silent majority or silent large number of anglers out there who really do value bluegill and who go to great effort to find places where big bluegill are produced and to fish for them. Just as there's trophy bass fishermen, there's trophy bluegill fishermen too. A big bluegill is a quality fish, and a 10-inch bluegill is just as valuable as a 7 or 8 pound bass in my estimation.
Well, that's it for another week. As we leave you today, we'll take one last look at the sights and sounds of Hughes Mountain Natural Area. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, we'll do it again next week. But until then, if you get the chance, why not head out and enjoy Missouri's outdoors? That's where I'll be. See you next time.
For more information about today's program, drop us a line at Missouri Outdoors, Post Office Box 180, Jefferson City, Missouri 65102. And continue to enjoy Missouri's outdoors year-round by borrowing conservation videos at your local public library. Also, enjoy reading the Missouri Conservationist magazine. It's free to adult Missouri residents. Outside Missouri, the cost is just $5. To subscribe, send name and address to Missouri Conservationist, Post Office Box 180, Jefferson City, Missouri 65102.